Game developers wanted to communicate the idea of rising in power through your career and to emphasize that feeling you start as a fucking nobody. You literally has nothing except inherited estate. So you go around doing unpaid government labor and showing role model behavior to increase your merit. Once you outmerit the shit out of other competitors, you get assigned to official post, where you will be paid around funny. You start to do even more job for community and eventually climb a corporate ladder to high table, where you sit with other important guys and still being paid funny. But now you can steal taxpayers' money. Did you understand all of that? Nice, go get them, champ. Welcome, today I will be playing as Qin Guan, who is apparently an aspiring poet, or more commonly known as unemployed. But I mean, I will do my thing anyway, cause history does not wait upon music of verse makers. Gaining merit is desirable, but we need industrial quantities. Extra 5% might become impactful after like 50 years, when monthly income will be less anemic. Therefore, it will be much wiser to invest in steady march of monthly lifestyle experience. And immediately build a tea garden in order to have a stress managing mechanism. Hunts and feasts are for people with money. We are not those people. I will roll with learning lifestyle, focus on theology to gain piety, because scholarly circles give learning per level of devotion. Quickly look for a spouse that got to be someone with a lot of learning. And take a decision to write a book. If you're smart, write something that nobody will read. Now I want my wife to be my physician and go for research. Plus, find an education instructor, put him on research as well. This history fossil is my elder, therefore I can ask him for mentorship. This will start a scheme on repeat that will grant some amount of merit on completion. Also make a request for gold. Have you seen an official not asking for money? No? Me neither. With all of that out of the way, the DLC immersion comes. Time to go for the examination. I don't have fond memories of academia, so for me this basically turns the game genre into horror. Yet, with my considerable amount of learning, failure is but a distant and unlikely specter. Just pick options that have higher chance of giving you an exam advantage, and avoid unnecessary stress. Unexpectedly, being a poet helps to auto-resolve some. Another triumph, my book is at last complete, that is another 20% learning lifestyle experience. Perk available and I go for carefree, well you know, to stop screaming in the library, they don't take well to that. Now, having some degree of protection, time to start working on Confucian classics. The game tries to bait me into taking unnecessary debuff. Do you believe we will get invited 5 years earlier to Emperor office after a crackdown on Confucian classics? Well, I will pick a moderate option just because I can manage it. A bit of suffering to stay respected. So now I will just sit on my ass and wait until my liege calls for the capital examination. To do something productive, it is possible to attend local examination as an unpaid exam instructor. That basically elevates one to intern, since the usual term is not tolerant enough. But there is no other way to gain merit at the moment, so I take the best option from one available. Now I will go for a faithful perk that gives 0.5 merit per month. That is 6 merit per year, which translates into whopping 60 merit in a decade. Who makes those? Well, gonna level all 3s anyway. I have a lot of stress accumulated, so now the drink tea decision comes into play. Unfortunately, it looks like in order to drink tea I need to first find a specific strand, plant shoots, hand pick it and then dry this very specific blend in cold basement, so it will come off of cooldown in 5 years. I saved up a little bit. Let's build the most efficient source of money, rice fields. A bit unexpected, but I became a prefect for a county. That calls for a free inspection. And by the grace of fortunate blunder, 50 gold appears in my pocket. Hey, don't judge me, I'm just trying to get by. Also, while being landed, I can host examinations myself. My elder slips into the next world, so I will find myself a new one. I would look for someone from advanced movement that will allow me to join the club for free. And a little shakedown. The emperor finally decided to host the capital exam. In order to take it, I will have to relinquish my current position. I do that without a flicker of regret, because it was the lowest of low offices, and in return, I will gain a lifestyle buff for the next 15 years. Capital examination is mostly the same as a local one, just a bit longer probably. Basically, if you have about 20 learning, you have nothing to worry. Predictably, I pass. And the sweetest part is that passing the capital exam gives you a dramatical amount of merit, which immediately furthers your position for gaining appointment. But with my current candidate score, I am still only 41st in line for the Dutch title. Let's go here and take our brother as disciples. That will give them some stats through mentorship, and we can ask for favors later. Back into unpaid labor we go. Because for now it is our main source of merit and character development. The goal is to gain some land for starters and to control a circuit eventually. Some time passes, inevitably I am entrusted with another county. So now a mix of exam assistance and inspection is all I do. Imagine how fun is that. Interestingly, you might think that hosting exam with favoritism is bad. Well, it can help your dynasty member to pass exam. But more importantly, it gives you an option to favor a royal dynasty, which gives 150 renown. Since we are nobody at the moment, that's a good decision. Keep writing, because that's our only source of artifacts. The private study upgrade of a manor gives you the ability to mentor others in governance, well, as long as they are breathing. And after finishing a mentoring scheme, you will get a bit of governance trait experience, small but steady income. Luckily, one can mentor literally anybody, so I will be spamming that in order to level up. Unlike the Confucian trait, governance does not lift your appointment score, but it gives you stats and helps instantly resolve administrative events that give you a good amount of resources. Most importantly, sometimes a sufficient amount of gold. Because God of RNG occasionally feels charitable. The Scholar tree completed, being far from my 40s, I will go Theologian for more merit. For more merit from Grand Preceptor, and learning from Theology trait. I reached 5 stars in Confucian trait, but I will continue education scheme because it also increases poetry, which will be useful later. 15 years in, I am elevated to a Dutch. I am about the main limit, so I will commit a bit of nepotism and give an appointment to one of my brothers. Does this sound familiar to any political system you know? Anyway, hopefully my slow-witted brethren get his shit together, or at least have some more children. Attend the university to speed up learning a bit and get a few perks. Candidacy score increases by level of devotion, but Radiant skill sadly does not double it. I feel that I accumulated enough merit to get a kingdom. It is time to resume appointments. My house became a powerful family. With this development, house aspiration comes on scene. I will go for integrity because it gives a bonus to candidate score based on poetry trait progress. 25 years of slaving and finally recognition catches up. Now I have a circuit. I will refuse father appointment and settle down for time being. After finishing everything in learning path, I switch to architect. Building stuff in holding gives merit, therefore I will burn through any treasure I get my hands on to create more real estate. I want to reach the first level of merit and have a highest score to swoop in for an office position when the time comes. So before the fateful moment arrives, my only job is to spend all treasury on buildings and all my gold on developing my estate. After spending the minimum amount of time in stewardship lifestyle, I switch to intrigue. I need a job done right and kidnapper. Marry someone with high intrigue? It is time to start preparing for the final act. When the emperor dies, the council gets booted. Serving an emperor in his twilight is a short-lived assignment indeed. So, I will take precautions to correct the age problem of the next royal candidate. The Chinese emperor has primogeniture law. So, if the firstborn dies, his son takes the mantle, i.e. grandchild. Thus, with solemn necessity, I dispatch the crown prince. With that done, the crown now will go to this 34-year-old guy. But why stop there? I passionately wait for 6 years, and Crown Prince Zhao Yu graces our liege with a great-grandson. Most praiseworthy deed. I'd say his duty is fulfilled. The pieces are in place and heavens call for action. Or maybe I forgot my pills again. I announce that I am ready for promotion and commit to retirement plan for Huangdi. The new emperor immediately calls for my services. Most wise decision. I will also advise him to make me a regent and start swinging scales of power right away. This makes me recall PTSD from your eternal reward, because that was the last time I did maneuvers like this. Usually I achieve power transfer by means of traditional diplomacy. Alright, so even though we all know that an egoistical, self-centered man with intellectual capabilities of a child is an absolute fit to lead the great country, not everyone understands this common truth. Thus, in order to preempt revolts and climate faction from happening, we do a little inside job, start a faction to be in position to call shots. All of my influence will be committed to inviting people with big armies to join. Now, time for a little strange. In my previous game, I noticed that if I try to abduct a faction leader, he will just be changed to someone else. I don't know how this works, maybe because I am in power sharing or my merit rank inspires. The faction is alright with putting me on a throne. Maybe it will be patched one day, but for now, I will take that opportunity. The thing is that I am technically unlanded and I will get booted from console if the war breaks out, which translates into defeat, so I will abduct the little guy. Press claim, insta-win. Long live the emperor. I will quickly host a coronation for myself. There is some peasant trouble, but there are no claimant factions, so everyone okay with our rule. Let's give it a retrospective look. I started as
learn in focus, and I acquired all of the trees, but like that is connected to the fact that I wanted to become an emperor in one lifetime. So I was making haste. But I believe it is, well, you need whole of body in order to live longer, and you won't learn on the job in order to get skills from your council. Well, maybe finish scholar, but I don't think that you actually need theologian. And it would be more efficient to switch to stewardship and go for architect in order to better develop your villa, and avaricious in order to make more money. That would be probably better spent. And well, since I was trying to overthrow emperor, I get myself kidnapper and a job done right in order to facilitate all the killing. My state is not developed at all, but I want to draw your attention to some buildings. I mentioned that you want tea hut in order to have drink tea decision, but also very important one is tea garden pavilion. It gives medium boost to your health. I mean, once you make it in your career, you want to ride it as long as you can. And rice field gives the best money income, so you definitely want that. Private study to mentor your dynasty members in governance, and most importantly your heir. You can immediately give him 4 stars in it. Chamberlain's offices to have faster schemes and intrigue lifestyle experience. And in fact, there are buildings for all type of experience. Lastly, this is my second attempt because I fucked up previous, so I want to say that this method is a bit unreliable if you are in iron mode. I think that claim mandate CB or breaking China and reassembling it under your name is more of a surefire method. For first introduction, that will be it. So long.